right, guys. So we're going to do some of the example problems together.
It smells really good, by the way.
Yeah, I did. My wife picked out a new scent,
What's it called? I'm gonna get it.
Mountain Oak.
It smells so good. Write that down.
So we're going to do some of these here. Then you have the exit ticket, and we're done for today. So again, I would get a calculator for these here because they're very helpful, useful to use with a calculator.
The graphing or the regular?
Either one. For most fractions, I end up using the 30XS because it's a lot easier to type a fraction into the 30XS than it is.
Snake from? I think you said Mountain Oak.
Yep, Mountain Oak. All right, so let's look at the first one here. LeBron played 2.5 games of basketball on Friday and 3 1/3 games of basketball on Saturday. What is the total number of games LeBron played during those 2 days? I feel like a third game of basketball, you really had to take the time to calculate that out. Because half I could see pretty easily. A quarter, because you only missed or played.
Yeah.
But a third.
How do you, on these yellow ones, how do you?
So for the yellow ones,
How do you put it?
second.
Yeah, like once you put it in, like I got 55/6.
So it was 2.5, yes? Plus second, 3 1/3. So we get this here. So we can do that. It's going to switch between those two. Now, if you notice above the 10x to the n, 5 and 5/6. So the correct answer is E. And yes, I did just get the 89 or the 30XS working on this. So I do have that emulator. Now, Scott and Tyler are training for a pizza eating contest. They are trying to eat 6 pizzas in total. So far, Scott has eaten 2 3/4 pizza, and Tyler has eaten 1 7/8 pizza. How much more pizza do they have left to eat?
You add them together, subtract 6.
So 1 7/8 plus 2 3/4. Oh, no. Second. 3.
So I just added them both together and then I
And they're trying to eat how much?
6. So would you do like 5?
So I put the 2 3/4 plus 1
So I minus 6 from it, which gave me negative 11/8.
I got a negative. I got, and then once I put that one thing in, I got 1, and then 3, but it has a negative bracket.
So 1 3/8. So we subtracted 6, yes? 6 is bigger. So really we should have said 6 minus what we got, which would have made it positive, but it's still 1 and. So what they needed was 1 3/8. Which of the following is equal? Whatever 12 to the 30th minus. Because it was 30th minus 1 over 12. So we have this times 10 to the negative 33rd. So because the powers are huge.
Yeah, they are.
Now,
If we do it without the powers,
now we could go through and see with these here, because we can compare them. So 1 over 12 to the 31st, we can approximate each one of these in the calculator to see what we get. Now, most likely it's going to be D. 11 divided by 12 to the 31st.
Yeah, that looks about the same. That looks
I think we have that. Yeah.
So if we have this, and we subtract from it 11 over 12 to the 31st.
that's it.
Yep, that's the one.
Now, I'm going to show you this, how we would do this by hand. So we have 1 over 12 to the 30th minus 1 over 12 to the 31st. Yes?
Yep.
So this one is saying that I have 12 multiplied by itself 31 times.
Mm-hmm.
This one has 30 times. So for us to be able to add or subtract, the denominators have to be the same, yes? So if I multiply this by 12 over 12, well, now I have it multiplied how many times? 31, because I added another 12 multiplication, minus 1 over 12 to the 31st. So they're the same. On top, I have 12 times 1, which is,
Well,
so the denominator is going to be 12 to the 31st. On top, 12 minus 1 is,
oh, look at us go. Look at us go. Can you look at him go?
and on some of these here, you calculate it and get an ugly number. Turn these into decimals and see what you get. See which one matches. 1 over 3 plus 1 over 1 plus 1/4.
Whoa. Okay. Can you type that in?
Yeah. I'm going to borrow. So here, clear all that out. So we have a fraction, yes? So 1 over, then we have 3 plus, we have another fraction. And it's 1 over 1 plus fraction 1/4. So I typed it in exactly as it was seen on the example, yes?
Okay. That was a lot of trying to figure out how to type that in.
So many of the problems, especially word problems, they make them look more complicated than they actually are, just to see if you're going to take the time to read it and figure it out. Because this one here, it looks like it'd be overly complicated, don't know what to do. If it's all numbers, if there's not a single variable in this, type it into the calculator and see what you get. What fraction of 3 1/2 is 1 1/6? In mathematics, what is stand for? It is normally used for what symbol? Equal, because is normally synonymous with equals. So what fraction of is what? Multiplication. Of is times. So what fraction of 3 1/2 is x times 3 1/2 is 1 and nope, because the 1 1, yeah, no, the 1 1/6 was on top. Over 3 1/2.
Oh, I see.
1/3.
I know the six.
Questions on this here?
No, sir.
What would we do for this one here? Plug it in. Plug it into the calculator.
Jeez. Wow, you're so smart. Can I stop?
Questions on this so far? On problems like this here, I would pay attention to the answers because we have multiple lists, yes? And this here is asking from least to greatest, yes? So there's two. These two here, I hope you won't have to plug those in. Because what is 3/4 as a decimal? What's 7/10 as a decimal? So we know 7/10 should be before 0.71, yes? So if we look at all these here, well, what's E? That's after it, yes? So that's not it. 3/4 should be after 7/10 and 0.71, yes?
Yeah.
It's after both of those, Okay, that's fine. 7/9. Bunch of 7. So 7/9 should be after 3/4 and 7/10 and 0.71. So these are actually in the correct order here. Because, and then this is going after it. So we should have 7/10, 0.71, 3/4, and yep, because 2/3 is 0.6 repeating. Yep. So as you start seeing which ones are not right, throw them out. Throw them out. Questions on this here? 0.6 repeated, 0.771, 0.75, 0.7 repeated. Yep. Madeline is trying to measure the edges of a table with the tape measure. The table is somewhere between 3 1/4 inches and 32 3/8 inches. Which of the following could be the exact measurement of the table? So H, 32 1/4, because it has to be between. So 1/4 is 0.25, yes? What's 3/8? So we need to find, because all of them do have 32, we just need to find one between those two, yes?
Yeah.
Now all of them are in 16ths, yes?
That first one is
What's one?
because it's 625.
1/4 is 0.25, yes? What's a quarter of 16? So this is 4/16, yes? What times 8 is 16? So 3 times 2 is? Which one's between 4 and 6? Well, if we did convert it, each one of these to decimal, we would see that it is that one as well. Does that make sense? Either way works. If you don't see converting them all to 16ths, convert them to a decimal, convert them all, and see where we're at. Which of the following inequalities is true for the fraction? So we just convert these over. So 2/5 is 0.4. 5/13. 5 divided by 13, 0.3846. So we know 2/5 is going to be bigger than 5/13, yes?
Wait, no.
So so C is gone. Because
3/7.
questions on these here? Of the 627 coins in Jacob's coin jar, approximately 4/5 are silver. Approximately 1/10 of those coins that are silver are dimes. Which of the following is close to an estimate to the number of dimes in Jacob's jar? 4/5, 1/10, 627. 627. 1/10, and then I think it was 4/5. Yes. 50.16. Questions on this here? So let's look at this here. Because again, these large, they like putting these big, large word problems in that are not as complicated as they seem, if we take the time to look at them. When Elton was cleaning his garage, he found 2 bottles of motor oil. According to the label, the capacity of the larger bottle was 3 times the capacity of the smaller. He estimated that both the small bottle and the large bottle are about 3/4 full of motor oil. He poured all the motor oil from the smaller bottle into the larger bottle. Then about how full was the larger bottle? So we have larger, smaller. They're both 3/4 full, yes? How much bigger is the larger than the smaller? So we're saying the larger, let's get a different color, is equal to 3 times the smaller, yes? Both the smaller and larger, according is 3 times the capacity of the smaller. So if we multiply the smaller by 3, we get the larger amount, yes? So yeah, because 1/3 of the larger is equal to 4/3 of the smaller. It'd be overflowing. It should be overflowing. So 3x. Okay. Yeah. It's not overflowing. Because we're saying 3x. So we'd multiply each one of these. So this one by 3x to get it to be the same in terms of the larger. So we have 3x over 4 plus 9x over 4 is equal to, well, so we're going to add these together. Now, since they're both fourths, 3x and 9x is so it's exactly 1 because 3 times the smaller. Essentially what they did with this here is converted it all into the same unit, all in terms of the smaller, all in terms of the bigger, and worked it from there. So this one's a little funky. Oh, backwards. Okay. Pablo works in a factory and has to cut a rectangular metal rod into small cubes. The rod that he needs to cut is 1 1/4 inch by 1 1/4 inch by 8 feet. And he will cut it so that he will have 1 1/4 inch cubes, 1 1/4 inch on a side. He must allow for an extra 1/2 inch for each cut between his saw blades is a 1/2 inch wide. Assuming that the metal rod has no flaw, what is the maximum number of cubes he can cut from his 8-foot piece of metal? So we're wanting to cut it so that these are also 1 1/4. Now the part that it says about a 1/2 inch, because normally we don't think about it, but the blade itself, when it cuts, it does remove parts of the material. So each time he cuts, it's also going to take an extra 1/2 off. So what we can do is start off with 8 minus 1 1/4. Yes? So we can do it once. Subtract a 1/2. So that's 1 1/4. 5 minus a 1/2. So that's 2. 1. So there's 3 minus a 1/2. 4. And we get 1. So we have this here. Oh, yeah. I got a little. So what is this here? What are our dimensions? 1 1/4 what? Are they the same? How many feet are in an inch? Sorry, how many inches are in a foot? How many inches are in a foot? 12. 6, carry the 1. So 76 inches is what we're looking at, yes? Now, 1 1/4 is 1.25. A 1/2 is 0.5, yes? (76) minus 1.75. So we get this, so that's 1 minus 1.75. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna say 46. That is correct.
76 divided by 1.75. Yep, and apparently he's going to scroll. Just make sure.
Good job.
1/2 inch. That's 8. Yeah, 8 times 12 is what? 96 divided by 1.75. It should be 55
Oh, darn it.
because 12 times 8 is not 76. That's so it should be G. 8 times 12.
Oh, the inches. Oh, the inches.
All right, guys. We'll stop there. You have the 3 exit ticket questions, and we're done.